Right then, two new people in the last couple of weeks joined exploratoryminds.com. Appreciative, and just helped out one of the members. They joined, um, and occasionally, wherever I can, if it's timed right, if they're brand new and I'm logged in at the same time, I'll just say welcome in a private message to them. So I did that with Per Malenberg. Uh, Forgive me if I pronounce your name wrong. Um, Joined. So I said, welcome to the project. Hope you enjoy the site. It's in its early development in some ways. Much more to come. So thank you for the welcome. They had a issue, and I'm willing to help anyone who joins and they think, oh, their profile's not updated, they click save or whichever. I'm going to put in the profile settings some text to remind people every field needs to be edited and chosen. Particularly, what's easy to do is forget to choose your category. You must choose a category. Categories are for basically categories we got is, let me see what ones we got. User categories: creative, world news, health, technology, blogger, philosophy, theory, physics, random. I'm going to change the word random to miscellaneous, I think. And all it does is, if and when we do have a much more activity, as today I've seen 3 people log in and come and go. 4 people actually, if we count Per Malenberg, however you pronounce. I'm sorry. Can I just call you Per for now? My apologies for pronunciation. And some days is nobody logged in. Other days is a couple of people. To remind people what you can do: private chat, do an expenses sheet, use a marketplace, like sell things, create a business page, polls, events, create your own personal unique bio page, group chat rooms are unique to you just give it a title and invite people as a private chat room, as opposed to the normal private regular chats that come to and fro. If you want to support the project, please do, here and there. So this is another video blog. I did get my money back, by the way. Not money back, I mean, it's not a complete refund, but I got a partial refund for the not the X220. I'm talking to you with an X220, a T410S, by the way, and I still quite like the machine. I noticed the CPU is heating up quite a bit. I might have to do some thermal paste replacement on this. It didn't have an NVIDIA card after, as I suspected, and we went through that conversation together, and much appreciated that he or she was cooperative on all that, and very apologetic actually. So I don't know what I'd do with that machine entirely. Potentially that machine could have three ways of booting. It's got a CD-ROM which can be modified to a mSATA hot swavel adaptation. Not mSATA, no, a SSD. I could change the mobile phone network card in there to an mSATA, and on top of that there's the regular hard drive or SSD that's in there already anyway. I like that. I love this idea of these laptops are robust. Some of them maximum like 10, maybe some are a little bit more years old. It's something that I really think has ruined my respect for tech companies today. When not respect, it's just you're making crap. Despite you should be looking for build quality as well as specification. These things are solid, rock solid, and I'm not afraid to bang it. I'm not afraid to slap it around. Try doing that. Drop something like that with a modern day laptop, and the smash screen. Okay, get the screen replaced. Oh, you can't because it's all sealed. Get a technician to do it. Oh, you get charged the earth. That's Apple's game, right? The modern, so-called modern-looking laptops. And this is actually, although this is bulky and robust, it's actually the slimmer version. That's a T410S, as I mentioned in a previous video. Now, why could they not? Simply, they had a T410, which had a few more USB slots here and there, and a little bit bulkier. Like it went a bit deeper. So T410S came out. Then, why can't they? The S means slim, right? Why can't they call it a T410S N or a T410N as well? What's the N for? NVIDIA. That would be helping people out a bit here and there. But again, people should need to pay attention because manufacturers don't really name the model numbers in line with the specification, ideally. Because, the X220 came in a number of variations. There is a X220T. T means touch screen. I might get one of those. Again, something to play with, and eventually, trying to save some money to play with all this and experiment with all this. I'm on a limited budget, but the idea of the other one, this T410, was that I'll leave it with a live stream for that, and maybe run a few animations here and there that wouldn't really lose any frames because the processing would be from the NVIDIA chipset, which it doesn't have. But I could still do that with that, but more powerful is this. That's an X220 as well behind me, but the one in front of me, I'm recording this on 16 gigabyte and an i7 is a good combination. I love this machine. I've done so many things to it. It's a new screen. It does get quite hot again, thermal paste. I do have a spare heatsink here as well. I might do that. I might run again, it's money permitting, external graphics card on this, external GPU. It has a PCI Express slot. I can slot thing in externally, and there's a limits on that. Obviously, you can't have anything the top latest fancy graphics card on that. There's I can get. You might think, how's that going to get powered? You get powered up separately. You get a power unit, and there's a whole kit to do this, and it would bring it into a very powerful machine, despite it being, well, just look at it. It's just a. Give you an idea of size. My hands are fairly small for a man, and it's portable, and you might think, oh, it goes deep. If you saw that, it's not that deep actually. It's on a base. What that is on a base where you can expand out your sockets, like expansion sockets. You get number of extra USB slots, audio and headphones. Sorry, audio, but right for your headphones and your microphone separate. But this is running on a USB anyway. This microphone. There's a CD bay on there which I'll run again. Those are adaptable. You can get the kit to change that and take out the whole CD tray. On that, with I think I've already done this in a separate video, but at the back here, these are, press them in the right kind of way. There's some buttons here to, gotta give it a good push. There we go. There's your CD thing, which can be modified. You get a modified case to go in there. That houses not a compact disc, but a SSD or extra hard drive. Obviously, that's is as it is, and it's workable. Push that in a bit. There we go. That's so much you can do with these machines. The screen I changed on this X220 is a slightly more of a modification than the screen that would come with it, and it's sharp, clear, and it's a nice display for a portable laptop. Really, it's a real nice display. So I'm playing with some ideas. I won't do so many like tutorial vids on how to, but just sharing my knowledge that this is possible. And if you really want to have tutorials on what can be done with the whole ThinkPad range, have a look at Laptop Retrospective. He's not a member of Extraordinary Minds, but I shout out people who have a lenience towards quality content and hold themselves to a standard. There's not enough of that in certain aspects of society, and it's eroding and corroding certain aspects, if you will, and it is dangerous if you don't hold yourself to a particular standard, right? Hope you're enjoying the music feed behind. If anyone has gone in there, I don't see anyone come and go much. I would recommend that if you comment more underneath my videos, that instantly it keeps, gives me a bit more fire to do more videos. I'm not going to give up on the project on the website, but I like to have some feedback, even if it's criticism, like constructive criticism, unlike the individual who called me a cunt for my content on the other channel for saying that Trump needs to be deplatformed across all social media, in my opinion. But I'm willing to hear debate as to why that it shouldn't be done. I think there's more validity to suggest why it should against why it shouldn't, when all he ever really did, in what it seems like, when he talked to the public, was use emotion rather than facts and education of the facts of why is something being done, what's going to be done next, credibility, truth. I don't think he cares about the truth. He cares about Trump, and which is dangerous during a pandemic. And I think the statistics, the facts of what's really going on with the virus scared him, among other things. There's so much out there that people repeat just because somebody else said so without questioning it, and they did that a lot with Trump, and people do it a lot when it's adding wind to something that is already emotional. The emotional mind doesn't care about critical thinking, you see, so exploratory minds are trying to lean away from confirmation bias, and we find that a lot within emotional knee-jerk responses. I care about this going forward. What I am attempting to do here. It's slow going, but that's okay. There's some bugs being ironed out here and there in the site that is inevitable for any website. You're going to get occasional bug here and there. One of them I notice is the resizing at some certain sizes where you're looking at blogs. There's an overlap of your friends list, your friends, but I'll show you now. So here we are at the site, and if I was to just click blogs here, blogs, you can just see that. Let's click add a blog, and there's an overlap over here. You see that's overlapping. However, if I was to resize the browser, there's no longer the overlap. But as soon as the right hand sidebar comes in, you got the overlap. That's fixable. That is really fixable. I'll change some numbers in the resizing and the responsiveness soon. It should be okay on mobile phones. Again, you might, it automatically resizes, but you might get that problem on mobile phones. But in general, you should have a layout and auto responsiveness on mobile phones. There's a option that works on Android where you should be able to create an app to access the social network. That's an early recent development to the website. So welcome, the newcomer. I'll put this video up soon. I'll post it on Exploratory Minds. It's a thing with the post, Vimeo, Dailymotion, YouTube. There were some others as well. They should automatically give you the player for the video. You put the link in, put a YouTube link in and post. It automatically gives you the YouTube player. Press play so you can watch the video from our site without having to click a link and you end up on YouTube. And we brought back the script from Add2Any. Go to add2any.com and they give you basic scripts to use share buttons. They're back now on the side menu. After you log in, you see everyone's post. Go to one of their posts, click the time and date link, and you can share that. It gives you that actual link and share that on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, and a number of other ones as well. Plus, if you click the plus icon, it gives you all the other social networks that add to any list, and there are hundreds out there really. There's I don't know, there's probably about 80 on there. But put the most regularly used on there first before you click the plus thing. And I think Twitter is used quite a lot. And Pinterest as well, and Reddit. Certainly Twitter is very prolific in its activity. Bit of a shitstorm, really. As well, and I think the frustration on Twitter is because of that low level of character limit, and you don't have many characters. If you are frustrated already about something and you need a big post out to explain in detail something, it adds more frustration when you run out of the characters. So you see these long posts of a tweet, and you click the plus thing to add another tweet, and all these tweets are made out of multiple tweets sometimes. We have blogging anyway, and you can make really long posts in blogs and align your text, bold text, embed a video, put a picture in, and don't forget that you can have your photos. You can upload images, photos, on all these things, like your own photo album then, and name different ones. Like my photo album basically is I've got if you click photos, automatically you're going to get profile photos and profile covers if you've uploaded some of those. And I got general oddities and other stuff like surreal art I've found on the internet. I just like post those. Old archive of images is another photo album I put up, which is related to earlier project that I was doing many moons ago. Before I even knew what a cPanel server was, and when anything of that originally started, I was running a Blogger blog. Yeah, oh god, you got to start somewhere, and I certainly hope this kicks off, and it doesn't get anywhere on its own though. Its success is down to you. Primarily, the more you interact, more you share, the more we interact with information that appears to back itself up. We'll try to do that. How do we know it backs itself up? Well, you look at the data, and if there's anything that goes to another level that outside of the subject that you're talking about, that somebody else is saying, and who, what, why, when, where. I've mentioned those. I keep saying that, but a lot of people don't realise how important that is, I think, until they really get into analysis of data that becomes more valid just because of the way it is, rather than saying, oh, the Earth's flat. And see these idiots out there that think the Earth's flat. When we know it's not. I mean, it appears like even ancient civilizations did not think of the Earth as flat. If you look at certain aspects of that, it doesn't seem that way anyway. And how did they know it was round? Well, it's particularly easy to do experiments to discern. But they deny anything that's right in front of them. Denialism is dangerous. Denial of actual facts. Right, look at Trump. Why do you think he kept having to repeat over and over and over that he won the election? Because he didn't, that's why. If it was that easy, if it really was that obvious, then he wouldn't have to keep repeating it. Alright? How things appear is a lot to do with perspective and people projecting from inside outwards. And if your projection is based on emotion and not data itself, then you're probably wrong. We are emotional creatures. As humans, I think we're emotional 70% of the time on default, and 30% of the time critical thinkers and logic. Unless we intervene, we need to jump in. We need to hold ourselves to a standard. We need to get involved in get in the way of some of the automation. Sometimes automation, like getting it out of our way as well, is useful. It's called the flow state. Flow state to me is somewhere a sweet spot between boredom and interest, and everything. Your awareness of everything goes away, and you just focus on what you're doing, and you get it done. That's cool. At least you're focusing on getting it done. You're not focusing on I'm right, the rest of the world's wrong. The emotion, which leaders like, cult-like leaders prefer to do to people, because they're emotional and screwed up as well, and that's what they're projecting out. This is what, in my opinion, Donald Trump did. And if you can make a valid argument that isn't just based on emotion, but actually gives data that can back itself up via statistics, evidence, expert sources of information, fine. And it's not an expert source of information if some lawyer comes forward and talks about crimes against humanity with claiming that the pandemic was deliberate. Just because he's an expert he's not an expert. A lawyer may be really good, but if they're talking about that subject, they're not an expert in that subject. They're not a biologist. They're not a doctor. You see? But people jump on these things because, it was in a book, or somebody of a powerful position said so, therefore it must be true. It doesn't work that way. Look for the opinions from the experts, not the opinions from people in high positions. Just because you're in a high position doesn't mean you're an expert. So what does a lawyer want? Well, they want to get paid. And it doesn't matter if they're right or wrong. You could take people to court and they still get paid if they. Doesn't matter what their claim is, right? Of their client and whether the client's right or wrong, because they still get paid anyway. There's a lot of con artists that have jumped on a lot of the screwiness that's gone on in the world as well. This is why we need platforms to lean towards supporting and curating information. You can post what you like, really, on Exploratory Minds within reason. If you did a blog that's based on all this emotional nonsense without anything that is valid data that you could really dig into from sources, and cite your sources, look at statistical data, things like that. Cite your sources, and are the sources credible? Are they experts? Right? If you can't do that, when they're not gonna curate it, we're not gonna go on the attack of such people either, really. But there are rules at Exploratory Minds. A flat earther, if they joined, would just generally get ignored for the most part by administration for the most part. If they cried about, I want this posted on your main blog. No, because it's against our rules for us to willingly lie to the general public just because you're an emotional individual who claims this conspiracy that has nothing to back it up. But we see these alternative platforms talking about many conspiracies out there. BitChute, I don't think, is worth people's time for logical and critical thinking, because they're encouraging the David Icke's of the world. They're encouraging the Alex Joneses of the world. Look, I'm not a royalist, but David Icke blurts out, the Queen is an alien, a reptilian alien. It's like, look, I'm not a royalist, but that's going a little bit too far. If you are a royalist, that's okay. Nothing against you. If you like the royal family, fine. So that's where we're going with it. I think people know that by now anyway. Again, please give me feedback. Comment underneath my videos. Have a look at exploratoryminds.com. Some recent articles have been rushed out and my grammar's shit. So I'll be correcting some of that here and there, which is normal for me to do. And certainly there's stuff to come on. I've written stuff down. There's a lot here written down about octopus. It's another subject I'm going to cover. Octopus creatures, they're fascinating, mind-blowingly complicated, intelligent. And you might think, well, yeah, they're very good camouflagers, and they can make this skin bumpy, change all the colours very quickly. That's only 1/3 of it. There's some really amazing stuff to come on that subject. This is how I approach it. You take a subject and then you extract from the subject the most interesting aspects. Hence the intro that some of you have seen, where it says in the text, the most interesting aspects. Most interesting aspect about octopus is they're able to edit their own genes. I kid you not. To a certain level. I'll explain how that works if I can. Try to articulate that. Yeah. They're colourblind apparently. So how is it that they change and match different colours? How do they know? That's explained as well. So there we go. It's odd and unusual, and seems some things that seem weird and outlandish, but if you can back it up with enough data that makes sense from, in this case, from biologists, scientific, marine biologists, people who study ocean animals and so on, that they're your experts within that category. A lawyer isn't going to know screw all about an octopus or anything about the virus being a deliberate weapon. What do I think about the virus? I think it's possible and likely, due to the way there's been unwillingness from China to help discover where this came from, and certain other things that gone on, that it's possible but not proven that this could have been an accident at a lab that studies pathogens and these dangerous things that should have been kept in a test tube, not, if it was an accident, not allowed to escape, right? Can I prove that? No. Am I going to claim that as 100% true? No. But it's what I feel like is more likely, because I don't have information to go on to mitigate away from that, but I do have information that seems to go in that direction. I personally am not an expert at getting that information. It's nothing unique to me. As that information is out there, is what I mean. If you look at the article history of this virus, I did originally title it kind of clickbait thing. Did it come from a lab? Well, maybe, with a question mark. I didn't think it came from a lab. I was just trying to get a, because this is what people were asking, and then they could click it. I thought better of that, but it's still that title is still within the link, but the title is different actually. So I've had a look at our main blog with subjects out there, information there about many things, technology. So technology, virus, 3D printing, octopus, and all this. I'm interested in what it feels like to me. It feels like everything, but that's a bit of a cocky claim because it would really. I wouldn't find everything interesting. There's many things I find a little bit boring, but there's always something in there somewhere. The fringier side of any subject. Push it out, and we need to collaborate, confer, debate on that, because that's what pushes more instant understanding forward, right? Yeah. It's no good putting out information that everybody knows just by default in great detail, just because it's just the common knowledge, known things out there. Although it seems among certain people, common basic knowledge isn't that common, because they're emotionally driven rather than factually driven. They don't care about the facts, right? But that's why giving you I've done these videos before. We give you a sort of perspective on what is it I'm trying to do here. So yeah, that's that in a nutshell. If you want to support the project, donation link below. If you want to comment, please do. And those octopus videos will be coming. I need to gather that information forward first and write it all down, because it's no good me just blurting it all out like an unscripted, totally unscripted video like I do with the EN Network channel, like I'm doing on this channel. None of this has been scripted. It's just I thought, maybe I'll talk about this, that, and that. Tell everyone I got partial refund back on the T410S laptop as well. These are the things that go on. I'm like, just here to talk to you, share it, and get that feeling like, it's just some. If you went to a public bar and chatted with somebody, it's kind of like that. The EM Network channel is just me talking, and getting it off my chest, and I speak my mind, and come and join Exploratory Minds if you want to, if you like my stuff. Peace, take care, and stay safe as well. Hope you're well. Cheers, bye.